long before I reflected the night. I did not exist. Then, everything changed in a single, unimaginable moment. From chaos, inland, a silent circle began to embrace the earth. Gravity became the quiet sculptor of my beginning. Broken pieces slowly learned how to become one. Time cooled my fire, but never erased my scars.
For the first time, I understood I would never travel alone. Every silence carried the heartbeat of the blue world beside me. Then, I noticed a tiny light that did not belong to nature. That night, my eternal journey as humanity's silent witness truly began. For countless nights, no one knew I was watching. They feared the darkness, yet never feared the light I quietly offered.
Then, one small pair of eyes finally found me.
That child could never reach me, yet somehow, our journey had already begun.
Wonder was the very first language humanity ever spoke to me.
They believed they were looking at me, while I had already been watching them for ages. A single spark rose into the night, carrying the first hello I would ever receive. In those curious eyes, I saw the beginning of every dream that would follow. Before sleep found them, they carried my light into their dreams. That single night became the first page of a story I would watch for the next 100,000 years. The next night, they looked for me again.
Curiosity always returns before wisdom arrives.
Someone finally decided to explain who I was, even before anyone truly knew. Every civilization begins with a story, before it begins with a city. I became whatever their hearts needed me to become. Truth mattered less than wonder, and wonder was enough. Although they shared one sky, every heart saw a different moon. Their stories rose like sparks, and I quietly kept every one of them.
That night, imagination became part of humanity forever.
Long before they wrote history, they first wrote it in stories beneath my light.
Most people had fallen asleep, but one child still had a question. Sometimes the smallest question is the beginning of the greatest journey.
Who lives inside the moon? The child quietly asked.
The old man did not know the answer. But he knew the night deserved one.
Perhaps, he whispered, someone watches us, just as we watch the stars.
But the child wanted truth, not only stories.
If only he knew. I had been listening all along. Without realizing it, he had already become my first true friend. Before sleep found him, he made a promise only the night could hear. He promised he would look for me every night, and he kept that promise longer than he ever knew. The following night, I waited for him.
When he finally returned, something inside him had changed.
For the first time, he had nowhere on earth to place his sorrow. So he whispered his heart to the only friend who never looked away. I could not answer him with words, so I answered with silence. Sometimes, comfort arrives long before understanding does. He never heard my voice, yet somehow he no longer felt alone. That night, grief quietly became hope. He promised he would return whenever his heart became too heavy to carry alone. Soon, one child would become thousands, and every prayer would find its way into the same night.